Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you're walking down a sun-drenched street in ancient Rome. The warm air carries a gentle breeze, not of dust or city noise, but of something truly magical. It's a soft, sweet fragrance, a delicate dance of lavender, rose, and myrrh. It drifts from open doorways, from the grand villas of the wealthy, and even from the public baths. This is the scent of Rome, a city not just built on stone and ambition, but woven together with the art of perfume. This wasn't just a luxury. It was a way of life, a daily ritual that connected them to their gods, to each other, and to a sense of profound well-being. Tonight, we're going to step back in time, not just to learn about ancient Roman perfumes, but to experience their calming, dreamy essence. We'll explore how they used these beautiful scents to transform their homes into sanctuaries and their nights into peaceful escapes. So find a comfortable spot, let your breath slow down, and allow yourself to be carried away by the fragrant whispers of history. We're about to uncover the secrets of Roman relaxation, one scent at a time. This journey into Roman scent culture begins not in a perfumer's shop, but in the heart of nature. Romans were masters of botany. They cultivated vast gardens filled with roses, from Praeneste lilies, violets, and fragrant herbs like rosemary and basil. But their true genius lay in capturing these fleeting scents. They developed a process called enfleurage, where delicate flower petals were pressed into layers of odorless animal fat or vegetable oil. Over days, the fat would become saturated with the flower's essential oils. This scented pomade, or unguentum, was the foundation of their entire perfume world. Think of it like a solid perfume, a fragrant treasure that could be stored in beautiful little alabaster jars called alabastrons. The process was slow, meticulous, and an art form in itself. It required patience and a deep respect for the plants. The perfumers, known as unguenari, were highly skilled artisans, their shops lining the bustling streets of Capua, a city famous for its luxury goods. They were the original aromatherapists, understanding that a scent could do more than just make you smell good, could change your mood, soothe your mind, and even heal your body. Now, let's step into one of the most iconic spaces of Roman life, the public baths, or thermae. This was the social hub of the city, but it was also a sanctuary for the senses. After cleansing and steaming, Romans would enter the unctuarium, the anointing room. Here, shelves were lined with countless jars of scented oils. You could choose your fragrance based on your mood or the occasion. Perhaps a vigorous rosemary oil to feel refreshed, or a calming chamomile to unwind. Slaves would massage these fragrant oils into the skin, not just for moisturizing, but as a ritual of purification and relaxation. The air in the thermae would have been thick with a complex blend of steam, herbs, and exotic perfumes. Imagine the gentle scrape of the strigil against the skin, followed by the smooth, warming sensation of jasmine or frankincense oil being worked into your muscles. This wasn't just about hygiene. It was a multi-sensory experience designed to wash away the stresses of the day and restore a sense of inner peace. The bath was a transition, a way to leave the public world behind and prepare for the private, peaceful evening ahead. As the sun began to set over the 7 hills, Romans would return to their homes, bringing the culture of scent with them. A Roman domus, or home, was a fragrant haven. It wasn't just the people who were perfumed. The very environment was scented. They would sprinkle scented water on the floors and curtains. In grand dining rooms, fountains might be filled with rosewater. Its gentle splashing releasing a continuous, subtle floral aroma throughout the meal. During lavish banquets, the host might even have a surprise for the guests from hidden openings in the ceiling. A shower of fragrant flower petals and scented water could rain down upon them, a spectacle known as a sparsio. Even the household slaves would have their specific scents. The goal was to create a complete sensory world, an immersive atmosphere of luxury and tranquility. Imagine lying on a dining couch, the air filled with the scent of lilies and spices, the gentle music of a lyre in the background. Every element was carefully curated to delight the senses and create an unforgettable experience of hospitality and comfort. Now, as the evening deepens and it's time for sleep, the role of scent becomes even more intimate and personal. The Roman bedroom, or cubiculum, was a place of rest and rejuvenation, and fragrance played a key part in preparing for a peaceful night. The Romans understood the connection between scent and sleep long before modern science did. They knew that certain aromas could calm the nervous system and encourage deep, restorative rest. Lavender, with its gentle, herbaceous scent, was a popular choice. They might place sachets of dried lavender flowers among their linen or pillows. Chamomile, known for its apple-like sweetness, was also used to create a soothing atmosphere. A small amount of scented oil, perhaps a delicate rose or a soothing nard, might be applied to the wrists or temples just before getting into bed. The bed itself might be stuffed with fragrant rose petals. This wasn't about wearing a strong perfume to bed. It was about creating a gentle, aromatic cocoon. The last sensation before drifting off to sleep would be a soft, natural fragrance, a final whisper of the day's beauty, promising sweet dreams and a refreshed awakening. Let's talk more about these specific sleep-inducing scents. Frankincense and myrrh were two of the most prized substances in the ancient world, imported at great expense from Arabia and Africa. While we often associate them with incense in temples, they were also cherished for their calming, meditative properties. Burning a small amount of myrrh resin in the bedroom before sleep was believed to purify the air and quiet the mind. Its warm, earthy, slightly bitter scent has a grounding effect, helping to release worries and anxieties. Frankincense, with its rich, balsamic aroma, was thought to elevate the spirit and promote a feeling of peace. Imagine the soft, curling smoke rising from a small brazier, carrying this ancient, sacred scent throughout the room. It's a ritual that connects you to centuries of spiritual practice, a way to signal to your body and mind that it's time to let go. These weren't just perfumes. They were tools for mindfulness, helping Romans transition from the active world of day to the restorative realm of night. Beyond personal application, the scenting of textiles was a huge part of creating this dreamy bedtime atmosphere. Romans took great pride in their linens. After being washed, fabrics would be stored in chests with dried herbs and flowers. Small cloth bags, the ancient equivalent of potpourri sachets, would be filled with lavender buds, dried rose petals, or chamomile flowers, and tucked between folded sheets and tunics. When you pulled back the covers of a Roman bed, you wouldn't just feel the coolness of the linen. You would be greeted with a subtle, comforting, floral or herbal scent. This practice of scenting linens ensured that the fragrance was never overpowering. It was a gentle, ambient aroma that became part of the very fabric of the room. This constant, low-level exposure to calming scents would have worked on the subconscious, promoting a continuous state of relaxation throughout the night. It's a simple but incredibly effective technique for transforming a bed into a true sanctuary for sleep. The Romans also incorporated scented oils into their nighttime health and beauty routines. After a long day, applying a soothing balm to tired feet was a common practice. This balm might be scented with something like marjoram or spikenard, both known for their relaxing properties. A gentle massage with these oils not only softened the skin, but also helped to relieve tension stored in the body. For the face, a lighter oil, perhaps infused with lily or violet, could be used as a nighttime moisturizer. The act of gently massaging these fragrant oils into the skin was a ritual in itself, a moment of quiet self-care before sleep. It was a way of honoring the body and preparing it for rest. This nightly routine, filled with soft textures and beautiful scents, helped to create a powerful psychological trigger for sleep. The body would come to associate these specific aromas and sensations with winding down, making it easier to drift off into a deep and peaceful slumber. Let's bring some of these ancient practices into our own lives. You can easily create a Roman-inspired bedtime ritual tonight. Start by dimming the lights and maybe lighting a single candle. Find a high-quality essential oil like lavender, chamomile, or frankincense. You can add a few drops to a diffuser to gently scent your room. Or mix a few drops with a carrier oil like almond or jojoba oil and gently massage it onto your wrists, temples, or the soles of your feet. As you do this, focus on the sensation and the aroma. Breathe deeply and slowly. Another simple idea is to create your own linen sachet. Just take a small cloth bag and fill it with dried lavender flowers. Tuck it under your pillow before you go to sleep. Notice how the subtle fragrance helps to calm your mind. It's not about recreating an exact historical recipe, but about capturing the spirit of the Roman approach, using beautiful, natural scents to create a moment of peace and signal to your body that it's time to rest. As we come to the end of our journey, let's rest for a moment in this fragrant, peaceful space we've created. We've walked the imaginary streets of Rome, bathed in the scented steam of the Thermae, and prepared for a night of tranquil sleep, surrounded by the gentle aromas of flowers and resins. The Romans knew that our sense of smell is a powerful gateway to our emotions and our memories. They knew that a simple scent could transport us, calm us, and connect us to a deeper sense of well-being. The world outside may be loud and demanding, but we have the power to create our own small sanctuaries, just as they did. By incorporating these ancient, simple rituals into our modern lives, we can harness the timeless power of scent to find our own peace, our own calm, and our own dreamy path to a restorative night's sleep. Thank you for joining me on this fragrant journey back in time. I hope it has inspired you. If you enjoyed this experience, please like, subscribe, and share. Sweet dreams. Come with me for a moment. Close your eyes if you'd like. Picture yourself walking down a bustling street, not in our time, but 2,000 years ago. You are in ancient Rome. The air is filled with the murmur of Latin, the clatter of chariot wheels on cobblestone, and the scent of baking bread and fragrant oils. As you stroll, you notice the people around you. What do their faces look like? What hairstyles are they wearing? What kind of features do they seem to admire? You might see men with strong, defined jaws and closely cropped hair, reminiscent of the stoic busts of emperors you've seen in museums. Their skin is weathered by the Mediterranean sun, a sign of an active life, perhaps as a soldier or a farmer. Their skin is often lighter, protected from the sun, signaling a life spent indoors, a mark of status. Now, gently, let that image fade and return to our modern world, maybe to a busy street in an American city. The faces you see are different, yet perhaps not entirely. We see trends come and go, the sharp contouring of a few years ago, the desire for a glass skin look, the popularity of full lips or strong brows. We admire celebrities, influencers, and athletes, and their features often set the standard for what is considered beautiful in our time. It's fascinating, isn't it, how what we find beautiful changes so much, yet in some ways stays the same. In both ancient Rome and modern America, what we often admire is a reflection of our values. But if we dig a little deeper, past the fleeting trends and cultural preferences, we find a common thread that connects us all. This thread is the idea that true beauty has always been linked to something more fundamental: health, status, and tradition. In ancient Rome, a healthy appearance was paramount. Clear skin, bright eyes, and a strong physique were not just aesthetically pleasing. They were indicators of vitality, fertility, and the ability to contribute to society. A robust body meant you were likely well-fed and free from the many diseases that were rampant at the time. It was a sign that you could work, fight, and raise a healthy family. Roman physicians like Galen wrote extensively about diet, exercise, and hygiene, not just for longevity, but for maintaining a pleasing and vigorous appearance. A radiant complexion wasn't achieved with complex serums, but with good nutrition, adequate rest, and cleanliness. A healthy glow was the ultimate status symbol, one that couldn't be faked. Status was woven into every aspect of Roman beauty. The wealthy could afford cosmetics, perfumes imported from the East, and slaves dedicated to hairstyling. Those elaborate updos I mentioned earlier could take hours to create. They were a clear signal that the woman wearing one did not need to perform manual labor. While soldiers and common folk might have practical, short haircuts, aristocrats might follow the styles of the current emperor, a subtle nod to their political allegiance and social standing. Even the color of one's toga could signify rank and importance. Beauty wasn't just personal preference. It was a public declaration of your place in the rigid Roman hierarchy. And then there was tradition. The Romans deeply respected their ancestors and the established order of things. Traditional Roman virtues, gravity, dignity, and simplicity, were reflected in their ideals of beauty, especially during the early Republic. An honest, unadorned face was seen as a sign of an upright character, while cosmetics became more popular later on. There was always a tension between embracing foreign trends and upholding traditional Roman values. A look that was too extravagant or foreign could be seen as a sign of moral decay. Beauty was tied to identity, to being a good Roman, and to honoring the legacy of those who came before. Now, let your mind drift back to the present. How do these ancient ideas of health, status, and tradition echo in our own society? The link between beauty and health is stronger than ever. We talk about glowing from within. The multi-billion-dollar wellness industry is built on this very concept. We buy organic foods, vitamin supplements, and gym memberships, not just to feel good, but to look good. Clear, radiant skin is still the goal, but now we associate it with a balanced diet, proper hydration, and a disciplined skincare routine. A fit, toned body is often admired as a sign of self-control, discipline, and dedication to health. We are still, at our core, attracted to signs of vitality, status, too, plays a huge role in modern beauty. It's just displayed differently. Instead of elaborate hairstyles created by slaves, we have designer skincare brands, exclusive cosmetic procedures, and celebrity trainers. Owning a particular luxury brand of moisturizer, or being able to afford a specific non-invasive treatment can be a subtle signal of financial success and social standing. The clean girl aesthetic, with its emphasis on seemingly effortless perfection, often requires expensive products and the luxury of time to achieve. We follow influencers who showcase lavish lifestyles, and their beauty routines become aspirational, a way for us to feel connected to a world of affluence and leisure. And what about tradition? It might seem like we've abandoned it in favor of ever-changing trends, but look closer. We might admire the classic beauty of movie stars from Hollywood's golden age. Family traditions also play a part. Perhaps you use a skincare tip passed down from your grandmother. Cultural heritage is celebrated through traditional attire, makeup, and hairstyles, connecting us to our roots and our community. In a world that can feel chaotic and fast-paced, these connections to tradition can be a comforting anchor, a way of defining who we are and where we come from. So as you drift deeper into relaxation, let these thoughts float gently by. The faces of ancient Rome, the trends of today. All of it is part of a long, unfolding human story. A story about what we value, what we aspire to, and how we see ourselves. Underneath all the layers of culture and time, the desire to appear healthy, to signal our place in the world, and to honor our heritage remains. Beauty is not just skin deep. It's a language we all speak, a conversation that has been going on for thousands of years. It tells a story of survival, of society, of the enduring human spirit. And as you let go of the day, as you allow your body and mind to find peace, you can rest in the knowledge that you are part of this beautiful, timeless story. There is no need to strive or to compare. There is only the gentle, peaceful rhythm of your own breath, a sign of your own health, your own unique place in the world, your own personal story. Allow this thought to bring you comfort as you drift into a deep and restorative sleep. Good night.
Close your eyes and let your mind drift back in time, back to the cobbled streets of ancient Rome, lit by the soft, flickering glow of oil lamps. The city's daytime clamor has faded into a gentle murmur, and a quiet stillness settles over the grand villas. Inside, a Roman noblewoman, a matrona, begins her evening ritual, a serene dance of self-care passed down through generations. Imagine her sitting before a polished bronze mirror. The air is scented with rosewater and chamomile. Her day, spent managing the household, weaving, and overseeing the education of her children, is done. Now is her time. Her fingers dip into a small, cool alabaster jar, scooping a soft, pearlescent cream. This isn't just any cream. It's a carefully prepared mixture of lanolin, a rich substance from sheep's wool, and perhaps a touch of honey for its soothing properties. She gently massages it into her face, her hands moving in slow, circular motions. The cream feels soft and luxurious against her skin, melting away the day's fatigue. This nightly ritual is more than just beauty. It's a moment of peace, a quiet meditation. Next, she might turn to a fine powder, as white as fresh snow. This powder, often made from ground chalk or white lead, is carefully patted onto her face, neck, and arms. In her world, pale skin is the ultimate symbol of status and wealth. It whispers a story of a life lived indoors, away from the harsh sun that tans the skin of laborers and farmers. It speaks of luxury, of leisure, of a life protected within the cool, shaded walls of her opulent home. Each soft pat of the powder puff is an affirmation of her place in society, a final touch before she retires to her chambers, ready for a night of peaceful dreams. Let this image of quiet, ancient luxury guide you now, as you prepare to drift into your own deep and restorative sleep. Let's leave the soft lamplight of Rome and wander into a hidden, moonlit garden. You're walking barefoot on a path of smooth, cool river stones. The air is thick with the sweet fragrance of night-blooming jasmine and honeysuckle. On either side of you, silver-leafed plants shimmer in the moonlight, their leaves like tiny mirrors reflecting the stars above. You can hear the gentle rustle of leaves as a soft breeze weaves through the branches, carrying with it the distant, melodic hoot of an owl. You follow the stone path until you reach a clearing. In the center stands an ancient, weeping willow tree, its long, graceful branches swaying like a silken curtain. Beneath the tree is a small, crystal-clear pond. The surface of the water is perfectly still, a perfect black mirror reflecting the entire starry sky. You can see constellations you've never seen before, swirling galaxies of diamond dust, and the serene, glowing face of the moon. You sit at the edge of the pond, dipping your toes into the cool water. With every ripple, the stars on the surface dance and shimmer, creating a kaleidoscope of light. A sense of profound peace settles over you. Here in this secret garden, there are no worries, no schedules, no demands. There is only the quiet magic of the night, the gentle sounds of the garden, the soft breeze, the distant owl, the quiet lapping of water form a soothing lullaby created just for you. You feel your body growing heavier, more relaxed, sinking comfortably into the soft, mossy earth. Now, let your imagination carry you to a cozy library tucked away in a remote mountain cabin. The only light comes from a crackling fire in a grand stone fireplace. The flames dance and leap, casting a warm, golden glow across the room and painting flickering shadows on the walls. You are curled up in a large, overstuffed armchair, wrapped in the softest, thickest wool blanket you have ever felt. The chair is so comfortable it feels like it's giving you a gentle hug. The room is filled with the comforting scents of old books, cedarwood, and the smoky aroma of the burning logs. Shelves packed with leather-bound books line every wall, from the floor to the high, vaulted ceiling. They hold stories of adventure, romance, and forgotten history, all sleeping peacefully on their shelves. The only sound is the gentle crackle and pop of the fire, a steady, rhythmic sound that is deeply calming. Outside, a gentle snow has begun to fall, but you are safe and warm inside. You can see the large, soft flakes drifting silently past the window, blanketing the world in a pristine layer of white. The silence of the snow-covered landscape deepens the sense of peace and security within your cozy haven. You pull the blanket up to your chin, feeling utterly content and safe, your breathing slowing to match the gentle rhythm of the fire. Let us drift away from the mountain cabin and find ourselves on the deck of a beautiful old sailboat, gliding silently across a calm, tropical sea. The sun has just set, leaving the sky painted in incredible shades of deep purple, soft orange, and dusky pink. The water is as smooth as glass, and the boat cuts through it with a gentle, whispering sound. The large, white sails are full, catching a warm, gentle breeze that feels like a soft caress on your skin. You are lying on a comfortable cushion on the deck, looking up at the first stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky. The gentle, rocking motion of the boat is incredibly soothing, like being rocked in a cradle. You can hear the quiet creak of the wooden mast and the soft flutter of the sails in the wind. From time to time, you hear the call of a seabird in the distance, its lonely cry only adding to the sense of peaceful solitude. The air tastes of salt and smells clean and fresh. As the boat continues its steady journey, you watch the moon rise over the horizon, a perfect silver disk casting a shimmering pathway of light across the water. The boat seems to be sailing directly down this moonlit path, heading towards a destination of pure tranquility. You feel completely untethered from the world, floating in a dream of sea and sky. Every muscle in your body releases, and a feeling of weightlessness takes over as you surrender to the gentle, rhythmic motion of the waves, letting it carry you deeper and deeper into a state of serene relaxation. Now, our journey takes us to a vast, quiet meadow at twilight. You are lying in a field of tall, soft grass and wildflowers. The air is still warm from the day's sun, and it carries the sweet, earthy scent of clover, lavender, and chamomile. Above you, the sky is a deep, velvety indigo, and one by one, stars are beginning to bloom like tiny, brilliant flowers of light. As you lie there, you notice the magical glow of fireflies. They rise from the grass all around you, blinking their gentle, golden lights on and off in a silent, synchronized dance. You watch them as they float lazily through the air, creating little trails of light against the dark canvas of the evening. It's a silent, enchanting symphony of light. You feel a part of this peaceful scene, as if the fireflies are lighting a path for your thoughts to drift away, leaving your mind clear and calm. The grass beneath you is a soft, natural cushion, and the gentle hum of crickets provides a soothing, constant background rhythm. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, but right here, in this moment of simple, natural beauty. You take a slow, deep breath, inhaling the sweet, floral air, and as you exhale, you feel the last remnants of tension dissolve from your body, leaving you feeling light, peaceful, and ready for sleep. As your journey tonight comes to a close, imagine yourself arriving at your final destination, your very own cloud. You step onto it, and it's as soft and supportive as you always imagined it would be. It's like the most comfortable bed, perfectly molded to your body. Your cloud begins to drift slowly and gently across the vast, starlit sky. Below you, the world is a patchwork of tiny, twinkling lights, like a carpet of fallen stars. But up here, it's quiet, serene, and incredibly peaceful. You are floating above all the noise and worries of the world. A soft, warm breeze guides your cloud, and you feel completely weightless and free. You can see the moon up close, its surface glowing with a gentle, friendly light. The stars are all around you, close enough to touch, shimmering and twinkling just for you. Your cloud is your own private sanctuary, a place of perfect comfort and safety. As you drift, you feel a profound sense of calm washing over you. Your mind is quiet, your body is relaxed, and your heart is at peace. This is your time to rest, to recharge, to sink into a deep and wonderful sleep. Let the gentle motion of the cloud carry you into the world of dreams. Sleep well.
The soft morning light filters through the high window, casting a warm glow on the mosaic floor. In the quiet of the room, the only sounds are the gentle rustle of linen and the rhythmic click of a bone comb against fine strands of hair. I sit on a low stool, my mistress before me on a carved wooden chair, her back straight, her eyes closed in serene patience. My name is Lyra, and this is my world. My hands, though calloused from other household duties, move with a practiced delicacy. Today, we are creating the orbis comaram, the circle of hair, a style favored by the empresses. My fingers deftly part a section of her long, dark hair. The scent of rose oil, imported all the way from Egypt, fills the air as I smooth it through the locks, giving them a healthy sheen. This isn't just about looking beautiful. It's a ritual, a statement of status and grace. Each curl is a testament to the time and resources at our disposal. I take the calamistrum, a hollow iron rod heated carefully over a small brazier. It must be hot enough to shape the hair, but not so hot as to singe it. I test it on a damp cloth, watching the steam rise, before I even think of bringing it near her precious tresses. With a steady hand, I wrap a strand of hair around the hot iron, holding it for just a moment before releasing it. A perfect, tight ringlet springs back. One by one, I repeat the process, my movements a slow, hypnotic dance. The curls begin to form a crown around her head, each one placed with precision. We have an array of tools at our disposal. Fine-toothed combs made of ivory, hairpins of bronze and silver, some even tipped with carved figures of gods or animals. Today, we'll use simple bronze pins, almost invisible once they are nestled deep within the coils. This style is an architecture of hair, built from the foundation up, each layer supporting the next. As I work, my mind wanders to the incredible variety of styles we see in the streets of Rome. You can almost tell a woman's age and social standing just by her coiffure. Young girls often wear their hair long and loose, or in a simple knot at the nape of the neck, a sign of their innocence and unmarried status. Once a woman marries, her world of hairstyling opens up. The tutulus, a conical style piled high and bound with woolen fillets, was once the mark of the materfamilias, the respected head of the household. But fashions change, just like the turning of the seasons. The empresses, they are the true trendsetters. When Empress Livia was young, simpler styles were in vogue, parted in the center with a soft bun at the back. But then came the Flavians, and with them, an explosion of elaborate curls. Imagine a wall of honeycombed ringlets stacked high above the forehead, a breathtaking display of wealth and artistry. It required not just a skilled ornatrix like me, but often the use of hairpieces and pads to achieve such volume. We would spend hours, sometimes even longer, constructing these masterpieces. The women of the court would all rush to copy the empress's latest look. And the colors? Oh, the colors. While many Roman women are naturally dark-haired, blonde and red hair have always held a special allure. They speak of distant, exotic lands, of the northern tribes from Gaul and Germania. Wealthy women will pay a fortune for dyes to achieve these coveted shades. We create a paste from things like saffron and henna to impart reddish tones. For a lighter, sun-kissed look, we use a mixture made from goat fat and beechwood ash, a recipe brought back by soldiers from the northern frontiers. The women then sit in the sun for hours on a special terrace, a solarium, letting the light work its magic, bleaching their hair to a fashionable gold. It's a tedious process, but for them, the result is worth it. Of course, not everyone has the patience or the natural hair for these transformations. That's where wigs come in. The wig market is a thriving business. You can find them in every color and style imaginable, pre-made and ready to wear. The most prized wigs are made from the real hair of captured German women, their pale blonde locks fetching the highest prices. Indian hair, long and dark and glossy, is also highly sought after for creating elaborate falls and braids. These wigs, or capilamenta, allow a woman to change her look in an instant, from a respectable matron by day to a fashionable goddess by night. Some are full wigs, while others are smaller pieces, toupees and switches, used to add volume and complexity to a natural hairstyle. I once saw a woman whose wig was so elaborate it included a tiny, full-rigged ship woven into the curls on top of her head. It was for a special banquet, a celebration of a naval victory. It was magnificent, a true work of art. But such extravagance is not for everyone. My mistress prefers a more understated elegance. She values the natural look of her own hair, enhanced by careful styling. The curls are now all in place, forming a perfect, layered diadem around her face. I take a net woven from fine gold thread and gently place it over the back of her hair, securing the chignon at her neck. It catches the light, a subtle shimmer against the dark strands. Finally, I take a handful of decorative hairpins. These are her favorites, carved from ivory with tiny pearls at the end. I slide them into the structure, not just for support, but as jewels to adorn the final creation. They are like stars in a night sky. I step back to admire my work. The curls frame her face perfectly, softening her features and adding a regal height. The style is secure. It will hold throughout the day's duties, from receiving guests to managing the household accounts. It is a crown she will wear with pride, a symbol of her place in the world. She opens her eyes and looks at her reflection in the polished silver mirror I hold up for her. A small smile touches her lips. She doesn't need to say anything. That smile is all the thanks I need. It is a moment of shared creation, a quiet understanding between mistress and servant. In this room, surrounded by the tools of beauty and the scent of perfumed oils, we have built something more than just a hairstyle. We have reinforced an identity. The world outside is loud and chaotic. The forum is bustling. Senators are debating. Merchants are haggling. But in here, there is a peaceful order. This daily ritual is a cornerstone of our lives, a moment of calm before the day truly begins. It's a reminder that even in a powerful empire, beauty and personal care have their own quiet power. It's a language understood by all, from the empress on her throne to the merchants' wives in the market. It's the art of being a Roman woman. Now, my work is done. I will clean the combs, put away the oils, and prepare for my other tasks. But a part of me will go with her throughout the day, in every perfect curl and every well-placed pin. Thank you for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the world of Roman beauty, please like this video and subscribe for more stories from the past. See you next time. In the soft glow of candlelight, the world outside fades away. Here, in the quiet solitude of this dressing room, there is only the gentle flicker of the flame and the reflection staring back at me. I gaze into the surface of a polished bronze mirror, its warm, honeyed sheen casting a forgiving light. It doesn't capture every flaw with the harsh clarity of modern glass. Instead, it offers a softer, more romantic version of reality. My fingers trace the ornate, handcrafted frame, feeling the cool metal under my touch, a silent connection to an artist from a time long past. My eyes, in this dim light, seem deeper, more mysterious. I lean closer, my breath misting the surface for a fleeting moment. The lashes, carefully darkened, fan out like delicate feathers, framing the windows to a soul at peace. My brows, sculpted into a gentle arch, bring a sense of order and grace to my expression. In the wavering light of the candle, my face seems to possess a symmetry I don't always notice in the bright light of day. The high curve of a cheekbone, the gentle slope of my nose, the soft line of my jaw, they all seem to align in a perfect, harmonious balance. It's a moment of pure, quiet self-appreciation, a rare pause in the relentless pace of life to simply be, to simply observe, and to find beauty in the stillness. This antique mirror has seen countless faces, each with their own stories, their own hopes, their own quiet moments of reflection, just like this one. What secrets does it hold? What moments of joy, sorrow, or quiet contemplation has it witnessed? Holding it feels like holding a piece of history, a vessel of memories. It reminds me that beauty isn't just about what we see on the surface. It's about the atmosphere we create for ourselves, the moments of peace we carve out, and the way we choose to see ourselves. It's about finding that inner calm, that quiet space where we can connect with the deepest parts of who we are. This practice of finding stillness, of creating a sanctuary for ourselves, is more than just a luxury. It's a necessity for our well-being. Think of it as a form of mental and emotional housekeeping. Just as we tidy our living spaces, we must also tidy our minds. Every day, our minds are cluttered with an endless stream of thoughts, worries, to-do lists, and digital noise. Without a conscious effort to clear this clutter, our mental space becomes cramped and chaotic, leaving us feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and disconnected from ourselves. Creating a personal sanctuary is the first step. It doesn't have to be an entire room. It can be a small corner, a comfortable chair by a window, or even a specific time of day you dedicate to yourself. The key is to make it a place where you feel safe, calm, and completely at ease. Fill this space with things that soothe your senses. Perhaps it's the scent of a lavender candle, the soft texture of a velvet cushion, the gentle sound of a water fountain, or the sight of a beloved piece of art. For me, it's the warm, reflective glow of this bronze mirror and the dance of a single flame. This space becomes a signal to your brain when you are here. It is time to let go. Once you have your sanctuary, you can begin the practice of quiet observation. This isn't about emptying your mind, which can feel like an impossible task. Instead, it's about observing your thoughts without judgment. Imagine you're sitting on a riverbank, and your thoughts are leaves floating by on the water. You don't jump into the river to chase them or try to stop them. You simply watch them drift past. Some leaves might be large and troubling, others small and insignificant. Your job is just to notice them and let them go. This practice, often called mindfulness, detaches you from the emotional weight of your thoughts, giving you a powerful sense of perspective and control. Another vital part of this inner journey is reconnecting with your physical self, much like I am doing now, observing my reflection. Our bodies are our constant companions on this journey of life, yet we so often ignore their signals. Take a few moments each day to do a simple body scan. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the tips of your toes. Notice any sensations without labeling them as good or bad. Are they warm, cold, tingling? Slowly move your awareness up through your body, your feet, your legs, your torso, your arms, all the way to the crown of your head. This practice grounds you in the present moment and fosters a deeper appreciation for the amazing vessel that carries you through the world. It's a way of saying thank you to your body for all that it does. And just as we admire the symmetry in a reflection, we can learn to appreciate the balance in our own lives. This means recognizing the importance of both effort and rest, of social connection and solitude, of giving to others and nurturing ourselves. We live in a culture that often glorifies being busy, but true productivity and happiness come from balance. Are you giving yourself as much time for rest as you do for work? Are you nurturing your relationships as much as you're pursuing your goals? Looking at your life with an eye for balance can reveal where adjustments need to be made. It's about composing your life like a work of art with harmony and proportion. This process of self-reflection and care isn't about achieving some state of perfect, unending bliss. It's about building resilience. It's about creating an inner wellspring of peace that you can draw from when life inevitably becomes challenging. It's like building a strong foundation for a house. When the storms come, and they will, your inner sanctuary will be the place you can retreat to, the place where you can find your strength and regain your footing. The more you practice these moments of quiet reflection, the stronger that foundation becomes. The gentle light from the candle is beginning to wane, and the reflection in the bronze mirror grows softer still. This quiet time is drawing to a close, but its effects will linger. I feel a sense of renewal, a quiet confidence that comes not from external validation, but from within. This is the real beauty that the mirror reflects back at me, not just the symmetry of a face, but the peace of a centered soul. It's a beauty that doesn't fade with time, but deepens with experience and self-awareness. I encourage you to find your own bronze mirror. It may not be a physical object, but a moment in time, a quiet practice, a personal sanctuary that allows you to see yourself in a softer, more compassionate light. Give yourself the gift of stillness. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Reconnect with your body. Seek balance in your life. In these simple, quiet acts, you will discover a profound and lasting sense of peace and well-being. ULL find that the most beautiful reflection of all is the one that shows a soul at rest. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me. If this resonated with you, I hope you'll join me again for more moments of reflection. Until next time, take care and be well. Have you ever walked through a museum surrounded by statues from centuries past and just let your imagination wander? Imagine if, for a moment, the marble and bronze figures around you could breathe, could step down from their pedestals. What would they look like in motion? What stories would their bodies tell? There's a quiet power in these ancient forms, a sense of stillness and strength that feels almost alive. When you look at the statues of ancient Greek gods or Roman heroes, you see a specific ideal of the male form. It's not about bulging, isolated muscles like we often see in fitness magazines today. It's about proportion, harmony, and a look of inherent capability. Think of the discus thrower, Myron's Discbulus. His body is a study in potential energy, a coiled spring of muscle, twisted and ready to unleash a powerful, fluid motion. Every muscle group works in concert. His back, his core, his legs, they are all engaged in a single, graceful act. There's a story of holistic strength there. It suggests a man who could run, jump, throw, and endure. His physique wasn't built in a gym with isolated machines. It was forged through the activities of life itself. It's a body that speaks of functional power, not just aesthetic size. The shoulders are broad, the waist is trim, and the limbs are strong and well-defined, but in a way that looks natural and athletic. It's a physique that carries itself with a certain poise and confidence, a testament to a life of activity and balance. Now, let's turn our gaze to the female figures, like the Venus de Milo. What do we see? There's a softness, a grace, but also an undeniable strength. Her form isn't about being thin or waif-like. It's about healthy, gentle curves. Her posture is elegant and relaxed, yet she stands with a firm, grounded presence. Her shoulders are relaxed, her back is straight, and there's a subtle S-curve to her spine that speaks of natural alignment and poise. You get the sense of a body that is comfortable in its own skin, one that is nourished and cared for. Unlike the often rigid and tense postures we strive for today, there's a fluidity to her stance. When we compare these classical ideals to our modern fitness goals, an interesting contrast emerges. Today, we often chase extremes. For men, it might be about achieving the maximum muscle mass possible, focusing on specific muscle groups to create a vetipered torso. Workouts can become a numbers game of sets, reps, and protein intake, sometimes at the expense of mobility and overall wellness. The goal is often visual impact. For women, the pressure can be to become as lean as possible, to reduce body fat to a minimum, and to sculpt a body that is toned but not bulky. We count calories, we do endless cardio, and we sometimes view our bodies as projects to be constantly improved and refined. There's nothing inherently wrong with having aesthetic goals, of course. The pursuit of fitness is a wonderful thing. But what if we could learn something from the ancients? What if we shifted our focus slightly? Instead of just asking, "How do I look?" we could also ask, "How do I feel? How do I move?" The classical forms suggest a more integrated approach to physical well-being. Their bodies look capable, they look balanced. They don't just look strong, they look healthy. This brings to mind the idea of functional fitness, training the body for the activities performed in daily life. Instead of just isolating the biceps, maybe we focus on movements that involve pulling, pushing, lifting, and carrying. Think about farmers, laborers, or athletes from centuries ago. Their core strength wasn't built from 1,000 crunches, but from stabilizing their bodies while carrying heavy loads or working the land. This kind of strength is deep, resilient, and useful. It's the strength that supports good posture, prevents injury, and allows you to move through the world with ease and confidence. It's a return to a more natural way of being in our bodies. And what about grace? The posture of these statues is a masterclass in alignment. They stand tall, not through rigid tension, but through a balanced stacking of the skeleton. Their heads are poised over their shoulders over their hips over their feet. This is the posture of efficiency, where the bones do the work of supporting the body and the muscles can remain relatively relaxed. How often do we find ourselves hunched over a desk or a phone, our necks craned forward, our shoulders rounded? This modern posture creates chronic tension, back pain, and can even affect our breathing and mood. By simply practicing standing and sitting with better alignment, it's not about puffing out your chest and pulling your shoulders back in an exaggerated way. It's about finding the natural, neutral alignment of your spine. It's about letting go of unnecessary tension and allowing your body to find its own support. Imagine incorporating these classical ideals into your own life. It doesn't mean you have to give up your current fitness routine. It just means adding another layer, another perspective. It's about balance. Maybe you add more compound movements to your workouts, like deadlifts, squats, and overhead presses that mimic real-life actions. Maybe you take up dancing, yoga, or martial arts to improve your grace, coordination, and the connection between your mind and body. Perhaps you make a conscious effort throughout the day to check in with your posture, gently correcting it, releasing the tension in your neck and shoulders. You could focus on eating whole, nourishing foods that make your body feel good and energized, rather than just counting calories. It's a shift from seeing exercise as a punishment or a chore to viewing it as a celebration of what your body can do. It's about appreciating your body, not just for how it looks, but for the amazing things it allows you to experience every single day. This approach is also profoundly kind to ourselves. The classical ideal is not one size fits all. When you look at a collection of statues, you see variations in body types. It's about building a body that will support you for a lifetime of adventure, a body that feels as good as it looks. Let's bring it back to that museum. The statues are still there, silent and serene. But maybe now we see them a little differently. They are not just objects of art, they are teachers. They offer a timeless vision of human potential, a reminder of the beauty that lies in balance, harmony, and natural strength. They invite us to reconnect with our bodies in a more holistic and compassionate way. They whisper a secret across the centuries, that the most beautiful body is a healthy body, and the most powerful physique is one that moves with purpose and grace. So, the next time you think about your fitness goals, perhaps you can carry a little bit of that ancient wisdom with you. Strive for strength, yes, but also for fluidity. Seek definition, but also softness. And above all, cultivate a sense of poise and well-being that radiates from the inside out. That is a masterpiece worthy of any pedestal. Thank you for joining me on this reflection. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more thoughts on finding beauty and balance in our modern lives. The morning light, soft and pale, filters through the high window of the domus, painting a single stripe across the cool tiled floor. In the quiet of his private chambers, a Roman named Lucius begins his day. He dips his fingers into the oil, warming it between his palms before massaging it gently into his beard. His razor, a sharp piece of iron, is next. He carefully scrapes the stubble from his upper cheeks and neck, the blade gliding smoothly over his oiled skin. A clean line is essential. It frames the face, lending an air of dignity and thought. In Rome, appearance is a language understood by all. A man's toga might speak of his wealth, but his grooming speaks of his soul. It tells a story of self-respect, of attention to detail, and of a deep-seated belief that the body is a temple for a sound mind. After shaving, he splashes his face with cool water from a basin, the shock of it a pleasant awakening. He dries his skin with a soft linen cloth, and then reaches for a strigil, that curved metal tool so central to Roman hygiene. He scrapes the excess oil and dead skin from his arms and chest, a practice not just for cleanliness, but for the health of the body. To a Roman, a clean body housed a clear mind. The two were inseparable. This daily routine, this peaceful dedication to grooming, was a cornerstone of Roman masculinity. It wasn't about vanity in the modern sense. It was about embodying the virtues of dignitas and gravitas, dignity, and a sense of serious purpose. From the emperor down to the common soldier, maintaining a neat appearance was part of what it meant to be a civis Romanus, a Roman citizen. But how did this all start? Where did these intricate grooming habits come from? To understand the Roman obsession with looking good, we have to travel back even further to the civilizations that inspired them, the ancient Greeks and Egyptians. Let's first look at Egypt. Picture the banks of the Nile, where civilization blossomed under the watchful eyes of the pharaohs. For the ancient Egyptians, cleanliness was next to godliness, quite literally. Their gods were depicted as pristine and perfect, and mortals sought to emulate that divine state. But it wasn't just the priests. Both men and women of the upper classes were almost always completely clean-shaven. Why? Well, for one, Egypt was hot, and being hairless was simply more comfortable and hygienic. It helped prevent lice and other pests, but it was also a powerful status symbol. Having the time and resources to shave daily, using copper or bronze razors, and being attended by servants showed you were a person of leisure and wealth. And let's not forget makeup. The iconic kohl eyeliner we associate with ancient Egypt wasn't just for beauty. They believed it had magical healing properties and could ward off eye infections and even the evil eye. Both men and women wore it, lining their eyes to create that dramatic almond shape. They also used green eyeshadow made from malachite and red ochre for their lips and cheeks. For the Egyptians, grooming wasn't just personal care. It was a blend of practicality, status, and spiritual protection. Now, let's journey across the Mediterranean to ancient Greece. Think of their sculptures, muscular, athletic, and perfectly proportioned. For a Greek man, the ideal was a strong, functional body honed through exercise at the gymnasium. While they admired a well-toned physique, their view on facial hair was quite different from the Egyptians. Philosophers like Socrates and Plato are almost always depicted with magnificent beards. It was a symbol of maturity and intellectual prowess. However, things started to change with the arrival of one of the most famous figures in history, Alexander the Great. Alexander was a trendsetter. He insisted that his soldiers be clean-shaven. The practical reason was that a beard could be grabbed by an enemy in close combat. But his influence went far beyond the battlefield. Suddenly, being clean-shaven became the look of the young, heroic, and powerful. The smooth-faced look of Alexander became the new ideal, and it spread throughout the Hellenistic world. And this brings us back to Rome. The Romans were brilliant engineers and soldiers, but when it came to culture, they were master borrowers. They took the best ideas from the peoples they conquered, and that included grooming. In the early days of the Roman Republic, much like the early Greeks, a beard was a sign of manliness. But as Rome's influence grew, and they came into more contact with the Greek world, the clean-shaven look promoted by Alexander took hold. By the late Republic and early Empire, the era of men like Julius Caesar and Augustus, being clean-shaven was the norm for a sophisticated Roman man. Barbers, called tonsors, became a central part of Roman life. A young Roman's first shave was a significant rite of passage, a ceremony called the depositio barbae, where his facial hair was ceremonially clipped and offered to the gods. The barbershop, or tonstrina, was a social hub, much like a modern coffee shop. Men would gather not just for a shave and a haircut, but to catch up on news, gossip, and business. A good barber was highly sought after and could become quite wealthy. The focus was always on looking neat, civilized, and controlled. Hair was typically kept short and styled neatly, often combed forward in the style of the emperors. Augustus, for example, had a very specific, carefully arranged hairstyle that was copied by men across the empire. It was a way of showing loyalty and respect for the emperor. Some historians say it was to hide blemishes on his skin. But whatever the reason, the emperor set the trend. It was deeply woven into the fabric of their societies. It was about health, and hygiene. It was a clear indicator of social status, wealth, and power. It was a way to express one's identity, whether as a pure priest, a wise philosopher, or a civilized Roman citizen. It was a form of discipline and self-control, a daily ritual that connected the individual to the broader values of their culture. So the next time you look in the mirror, whether you're shaving, styling your hair, or just washing your face, remember that you're taking part in a ritual that is thousands of years old. From the perfumed oils of Egypt to the bustling barbershops of Rome, the desire to present our best selves to the world is a timeless human story. It's a story of identity, culture, and the simple, quiet act of caring for ourselves. Thanks for joining me on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time. Have you ever caught your reflection and seen a stranger, someone older, with lines around their eyes you don't remember earning, and a softness to their face that wasn't there before? For the first 2 minutes, let's just sit with that feeling. It can be jarring, can't it? We spend so much of our youth chasing a very specific, fleeting ideal of beauty. We see it in magazines, on screens, and we think, that's it, that's the goal. But time, as it always does, keeps moving. And one day, you look in the mirror and realize the face staring back at you no longer fits that youthful mold. The world tells us this is a loss, something to be fought with creams and procedures, a battle against the inevitable. We're taught to mourn the passing of our younger selves. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? What if this change isn't a loss, but a gain, a transformation into something far more profound? Think about the stories those lines tell, the laughter that created the crinkles by your eyes, the worries that etched themselves onto your forehead as you navigated life's challenges, the smiles that have softened the corners of your mouth over years of joy and connection. This isn't a decay of beauty, it's the blossoming of character. It's the physical manifestation of a life lived. True beauty isn't about maintaining a static, youthful perfection. It's about the grace with which we evolve. It's about the wisdom that starts to shine through our eyes, a depth that can only be acquired through experience. Acceptance is a powerful, liberating force. When we stop fighting the natural process of aging, we free up so much energy. Energy we can then pour into living, into learning, into loving. Acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about shifting our focus from what we perceive as lost to what we have undeniably gained. We gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. We learn to appreciate our bodies, not just for how they look, but for what they can do, for the journey they have carried us on. There's an incredible elegance in a face that has been shaped by life, a quiet confidence that doesn't need external validation. This is the beauty of authenticity. Think of a sapling versus an old, mighty oak tree. The sapling is fresh, green, and full of promise, beautiful in its own right. But the oak tree, with its gnarled bark, its sprawling branches, its sheer presence, it holds a different kind of majesty. It has weathered storms, provided shade, and stood tall for generations. Its beauty is one of resilience, of history, of strength. We are much like that oak tree. As we age, we gather our own rings of experience, our own unique texture. Our beauty becomes less about delicate smoothness and more about powerful substance. This shift towards embracing our natural appearance is a return to ourselves. It's about stripping away the layers of expectation society has placed upon us and finding comfort in our own skin. It's recognizing that the silver in your hair is like a crown earned through years of wisdom. It's seeing the map of your life written on your skin and calling it beautiful. This isn't to say we shouldn't take care of ourselves. On the contrary, caring for our aging bodies is an act of love and respect for the vessel that has carried us this far. But the intention shifts from a frantic effort to turn back the clock to a nurturing practice of supporting our well-being, mind, body, and soul. Wisdom is perhaps the most beautiful gift of aging. It's the quiet knowing, the calm perspective that comes from having seen and felt so much. It's the ability to distinguish what truly matters from the trivial noise. It's the compassion we develop for others, and just as importantly, for ourselves. This inner radiance, this light of wisdom, is what truly captivates. It's a beauty that doesn't fade. In fact, it only grows brighter with time. When you speak with someone who is comfortable in their age, who has embraced their journey, you feel it. You feel their centeredness, their peace. That is a magnetic and inspiring form of beauty that no cosmetic can replicate. As you get ready to drift off to sleep tonight, let's reflect on a comforting thought. The concept of beauty has never been static. It has been in constant flux throughout all of human history. Travel back in time, and you'll find that every era, every culture, had its own unique ideal. In the Renaissance, soft, rounded figures and pale skin were the pinnacle of beauty. In ancient Egypt, bold, kohl-lined eyes and slender forms were revered. In the 1920s, a boyish, athletic look was in vogue, while the 1950s celebrated hourglass curves. What one generation considered the height of attractiveness, the next might have found plain or even strange. This ever-shifting landscape of ideals proves one thing: beauty is not an absolute truth. It is a cultural story, a trend, a fleeting preference. What we consider beautiful today is just one chapter in a very long book. And just as those past ideals have faded and been replaced, so too will our current ones. Realizing this can be incredibly freeing. It means we don't have to hold ourselves to a standard that is, by its very nature, temporary. We are not failing if we don't look like the models of today. Just as a woman from the Victorian era was unfailing for not looking like a Greek goddess statue. We are each a product of our time, but our intrinsic worth and beauty are timeless. They exist outside of these shifting cultural tides. So, as you close your eyes, let go of the pressure. Let go of the feeling that you are somehow falling short. You are not. You are simply evolving, just as the definition of beauty itself has always evolved. Your journey, your age, your unique features, they are part of your personal, timeless story. There is a deep, abiding peace in knowing that your beauty is unsomething to be judged by the fleeting standards of a single moment in history. It is a continuum. It is the grace of your youth, the strength of your middle years, and the wisdom of your age, all woven together. Allow your mind to quiet down now. Feel the weight of your body sinking comfortably into your bed. Let your breath be slow and steady. Imagine all the faces of beauty throughout the ages, a long, flowing river of different shapes, sizes, colors, and ages. See them all as valid, all as beautiful in their own context. And now, see your own face among them, taking its rightful place in that endless, beautiful river of humanity. You belong there. You are beautiful, just as you are right now. There is nothing to chase, nothing to fix. There is only being. Rest in that knowledge. Rest in that peace. Allow the gentle current of sleep to carry you away. Good night. Sleep well.